their fault.
Wait, Mike, what did you say about Maggie when he first started doing them?
Oh, I think it sounds, well, it's going to show my age once again, but I guess they still come on. You know at Christmas time when they show all those like animated series or the stop motion things for all the Christmas specials? Nicky to me sounds like a little English mouse that lives inside of a clock that walks around with a little candelabra.
Waiting for St. Nicholas to bring us cheese. I've been ever so good all year long.
And I also, when that show, when he would first start to bring it around to cons, I got to watch Greg just go, the second that he would start speaking, because every girl in the room would go, oh, yeah.
I leave, I get really embarrassed. Like when I show Beck, I usually leave the room when I start singing too. So, but yeah, and they tease me, they always said, go and say it, say it, say it. And I wonder if St. Nicholas has left us cheese. I've been a good mouse.
A lot of you guys seem to have been doing voice work for years, you have a good community, but you only do voice for anime. How many of you are actually not anime fans?
Wow, I hate it. No.
What define fan? Like as in, do we like it or do we not like it? Or as in, we watched anime before we got into voice acting?
I don't know, just like the Mustang guy doesn't look like your average anime fan.
Oh.
Wow, that's a blanket
Probably the
judgment.
biggest anime fan up here. Maybe.
Yeah.
I know I look like a huge like football tool or something like that. I'm aware of it. I know I probably look like a huge jock, but I actually geeked out over DBZ when it was out and called her and was like, "What are you doing in my show?" I think I actually scared her a little bit. I mean, yeah, but see, that's the thing. Anime is universal. Dude, bunch of frat guys in a Texas college, all standing on the couches, going, "Ah!" like screaming and stuff like that. That's what we love.
Well, and the nice thing is, not everybody that does this starts off as a fan. I mean, I'm a big dorky fanboy, but I've never hit it. I mean, I like go try to get in the dealer's room and buy things, but like Lucy was the cutest because when Lucy went to her first convention, Lucy had just started doing this as an actress. And she didn't pretend to know everything about anime. She was like, look, I just started doing this a few years ago, and I really love the stories, and I really... Now, Lucy's like, do you know who's got the rights to... Like, I mean, she follows what's going on as much as any of us do now. So, but that was something as a fan that used to freak me out when I first started acting. I thought that everybody that worked in anime loved these shows as much as I do, and that's not really a requirement at all. And me being, I still get my feelings hurt when I meet somebody from like some show that I like, and they're like, oh yeah, I get upset, but the bottom line to it is, it's not required that someone be a big fan to be a good actor. The people are hired because they are good at what they do, and they have a lot of talent and can convey something using only their voice. They shouldn't be required to have, you know, X amount of princess, you know, tutu wall scrolls in their bathroom.
Although, it wouldn't be wrong if you did.
Yes, I'm not going to say anything about Sayuki wall scrolls in the bathroom. Mike can tell you.
Oh, God.
But one of my punk rock friends said it looked like Japan threw up in my bathroom. So,
Yeah.
but I mean,
his bathroom looks like a dealer's room.
Yeah, it kind of does.
You can have the Sayuki stuff or the Fangoria collection.
Yes,
or...
yes, exactly. Yeah, it's a big nerdy bathroom. And we'll stop now.
And there's also like different levels of fandom. I mean, there's obviously people who will like it and enjoy it and whatever, like Star Trek fandom. There's people who will watch Star Trek and go, that's cool, and they'll watch that song. And there's someone whose kitchen looks like the Enterprise. Yes. You know, there's different levels of how far you can take it. You know, there's people who like to collect stuff and like to have things from the shows they worked on or the shows that they worked on. There's people who just like to do the work and upon occasion, I bought someone a show gift. Oh, this cool thing, the show you were talking about. Oh, that's neat, thanks. You know, it just depends. So, it's not required, but it's fun.
And
my Sims game, I made a Sim that liked Star Trek, and his whole house looked like the Enterprise.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he had two cats named Jean-Luc and Beverly.
Crusher. Wow. Wow.
That's right, Justin Cook was so into The Sims.
We're not roommates anymore.
Justin was so into his Sims when he first started playing it that he had to remind himself that when his house was getting dirty and he was worried about his Sims house, that he had to walk away from the computer because he said he was paying more attention to his Sims house than his house.
Okay, guys, we have room for one more question.
Oh, we're not going to run
and
this
you know
one?
what? This young lady, the cat girl right here, has had her hand up a couple of times. So do you still want to ask something? Okay. You have yours up first, I guess.
Stephanie. Oh.
Good morning. I'm not going to ask a showstopper of a question, but Mike, simple necklace. You had mentioned that the quality of anime dubs was in jeopardy. Really? And how so?
Certain companies know what American fans want. Largely due to piracy. Anime distributors in this country are clapping. No, they're really hurting. You know, licensing is an expensive game. And they're not selling as much. There are fewer outlets for it, and they're not even moving as many in it. So to try to cut corners, and because... Alright, sorry. Because the message that the distributors are getting from fans who use pirated copies is twofold. One, we're not going to spend money anyway. Two, we don't care as long as it's like roughly subtitled, we'll watch it and enjoy it. So now they're saying, well, we'll just throw some crappy subs on, won't dub it, or if we want to do a dub, just so we have it as a DVD extra, basically, we'll go do it in Singapore or something, which is going to cost, literally, I think they pay what I will spend on my talent to dub the entire thing.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I mean...
Pennies on the dollar.
It's totally pennies on the dollar. There's no way to compete with it in terms of price. And because that's become an option now, they're like, well, no one seems to really care, so that's what we're going to do. But it comes back to fans like you. If you, I know some people don't care about dubs either, you know, so that doesn't apply there. But if you do, and you want it to be good, and frankly, I think in terms of anime's success in this country, it depends largely on good English versions. Otherwise, it will never be more popular. If it's not going to be more popular, even though it's cool that it's niche, it won't ever make enough money to be sustainable. So then it's just going to sort of dry up and go away. So I'm really concerned about it. I've taken an enormous hit and been dubbing for much less, just to try to keep quality up, because I think, you know, now that there's a slump because of Suncoast going out of business and all these other factors, that if we don't maintain the quality, it's never going to really come back. It's going to get narrower and narrower, and it's going to be less and less, and there's going to be less to watch. So I'm really concerned about that.
Can I say something real quick on that? I've been doing a panel now for, what was it, Mike, 3 years? The fan subbing, downloading.
At least
panel?
2,
yeah.
not 3.
2 or 3 years, and I've been telling people that the more people download and the less people buy, the more effect it's going to have on the industry. And for 2.5 years, I've heard the attitude, well, no, it's not going to affect anything. Yeah, my friends download and we don't go to jail and it's fine. It truly has totally affected the industry. It's raised the price of licensing, and so now companies are spending twice what they should on licensing products or shows, and not ever any hope of seeing the return on it. And it is a business deal. As much as people would like to think that anime is a high art form, at the end of the day, all of these companies have to make money. And the really scary thing is the idea that putting it out subtitled only with no dub
doesn't matter
for $40 with 2 episodes a disc is something that will fly. It's only going to encourage piracy even more, because the people that want to watch it subtitled only, not all of them, but a majority of them are not going to buy it. They're going to download it from some crappy BitTorrent, and that'll be fine. So You know, it's like inheriting a house. You can do anything you want with the house, but if you have a wild party where everybody gets naked and plays with matches, at the end of the day, if you have no house, it's your fault.
Yeah,
and as fans, it's up to us to keep this industry alive.
I thought it was great that you've been talking about it for so long, and it's funny. It's kind of the issue is much like the environment. I don't want to be political, but it's like, you know what? It's a beautiful day outside. What do you mean global warming? But it's the kind of thing that you don't see up front, but the effect is cumulative, and now actually after 3 years of you talking about it, it sort of hit the wall. I was just in Japan, you know, talking to people about stuff, and the companies out there are very, very worried about piracy. They formed all these committees and stuff, which are just, you know, like hammering.
Even some of those committees